Hi there, my name is Victoria and I'm 28 years old. So I thought it was to mention at the beginning of this video because today I'm going to share with you my thoughts about what are the 7 money mistakes that you need to avoid in your 20s. That's something that I realized in my life and I'm going to share with you my thoughts and conclusions after this deep reflection. I moved out from my parents' house when I was almost 18 for my study into another city, and once I was 21, so basically I celebrated 21st birthday in Germany already, and being fully independent person since that long, so that gave me a lot of experience where I just concluded that there are certain mistakes that you better avoid in your 20s. So let me start from one of the mistake that I see happens all over the place, that people do not set up their financial goals. Maybe there is up to the age that people think that they're too young for anything, so that's why they just take it easy and having no expectation, no planning, no goals. But I would say it's not the correct approach, at least from my perspective. I would say that having a financial goal helps you to be consistent with the actions you do and be consistent with the work or study that you are going to have abroad in your home country or whenever you pick up any university you want to. By setting up your goals, you would get this feeling of independency that would allow you to do your actions and give you opportunity to take your own risk, because either you win or lose, it's all on you. Second money mistake that I would recommend you to avoid in your 20s is to buying or spending too much money on brand new car or super luxury hotel in any location you pick up for your rest. Buying really highly expensive clothes or renting highly expensive apartment. All these things will make you dependent on some circumstances, for example, support of your parents. But this is the main thing you want to avoid because you are an independent person. You want to enjoy this life without having to report the expense report. I would suggest you to cut all the useless expenses and really specify for yourself the level where you feel this independence, that you can support your own needs. And once you have this independence mindset, that will push you up, that will give you this courage to really search for new opportunities and increase your income. And herewith, your new luxury life will also be as a good bonus of your increased incomes. Third mistake you need to avoid in your 20s is to have only one stream of income. The worst case, if this stream of income is your parents' money. Because in this case, again, you become dependent, you are not proactive, you are not really you are not having enough courage to move on. You're just in your comfort zone where you don't take your responsibilities. Once I became a student and I moved out from my parents' house, I got my scholarship that was supporting me in a good way, but I also invested some money into my mom's business, so we were kind of partners, and I was actually having my decent dividends from this affair. I also was investing money into some currencies. On that time I was living in Ukraine, so I was trying to purchase some dollars because they were more stable, so that was my kind of investment. Of course, after that I learned a bit more about it. Right now I'm living in Europe and I'm investing money to stocks or cryptos, but that time it was only option for me available. And only then my fourth source of income was my parents' money. Of course, when I was visiting them, they were providing me some money. It was nice, but it wasn't required and really crucial for me to get this money because I had like several income streams that was providing me my fully independent student life. I think that right now it's way easier to get some additional streams of income. You can either create some channel on TikTok or YouTube. You can write some articles, you can drop ship, you can invest some money. So basically you should set up your mind for this way of searching opportunities, but not searching for excuses, and then it will pay you off and you would find different ways how you can increase your money stream. The fourth money mistake I would recommend you to avoid in your 20s is to having the credit card. Of course, in this period of your life, your life is changing so rapidly that you can barely imagine how it would look like one day after another. So that's why it's better to avoid credit card in order to not go into the minus balance that would give you some bad experience with the bank and so on. Mistake number one, that I would say one of the most crucial points in your financial independency, it's the mistake sounds as following: do not have an overview of the flows of your money. I had this mistake for a pretty long time. I didn't count where exactly my money went, and that was not a good experience. Since last 4 years, once I really started to be a full-time employed person, I become that person, that nerd who really reports all the expenses into some spreadsheet where I see the overview of all the income and outcome, and basically that motivates me and helps me to set up my goals, to see what kind of income stream I may introduce into my money flow or something like this. Basically, you can purchase any bill tracker on Etsy or something similar, or create your own spreadsheet where you would just put on all the expenses and all the incomes that you had recently and review this monthly or quarterly or yearly. If you need some reference, you can see in the description below the spreadsheet I shared with you. It's basically my template where I put all the points and just summarize everything and compare income and outcome and see where my money went. Basically about how I go on with my money flow, I will share with you in the next video. So just take your time to subscribe and click like button so I see your interest, and I would work hard in order to really provide you as soon as possible with new helpful video on my channel. But let's move on to the next money mistake that you need to avoid in your 20s. Mistake sounds as thinking that investment is difficult. That was my huge mistake that I'm really sorry about, because I started investing only last year. So I had experience of a year being an investor. I'm playing small, I'm playing consistent, doing really passive investing. But anyway, once I decided I need to start with that, I watched so many videos on YouTube with all the recommendations, and I thought like it takes you a minute to just set up your account. It takes you a minute to decide how much money you are okay to invest, because you always need to include this risk that at least half of this money you may lose if something goes wrong, but if something goes well, you also may increase this income. So basically, investing is really something that just needs practice. And you learn on practice much better than on theory, because you just need to create your account and start investing, and you would see how you feel the market, how you need to, what are the crucial moments where you should be oriented on. But in general, just start it and you would see it's not difficult as it might sound at the first glance. And the last but not least mistake that you need to avoid in your 20s, or I would say in the whole life that you have, it's to not have the emergency fund. Basically, if you don't have money saved that will pay your bill for 3 to 6 months, you are out of this game. If something goes crashed, you are out of this game. You cannot survive if you don't have enough money. that would push you to be a dependent person. You would require to have a credit card, or you would require to have a spouse who can support you with that, or you are required to have a support of your family or someone like this. It's not the things I would appreciate in my life. So basically, I practiced this since I was 6, I would say, because since that time when my parents was giving me some coins, I was collecting them, having them, not spending them all at the same time. So I was like collecting some money, spending half of that, but having some half as a savings, because I was thinking like, it might be a moment when I really want to have some sweet badly and I won't have any money for that. I should avoid that situation. So of course it wasn't so rational as I would say it right now, but that time I felt like I always need to have some savings, and I would recommend you to do the same. Once you have your income, try to pay yourself at first. So try to save money first. You can play small, you can save on the 10% of your income, even though it's not huge, but anyway it would give you that feeling of safety that no one can give it to you. Because once you understand that whenever something happens in your life, you are not abounded because you have something that would support you, it's really something that tricks your mind and give you that independency that we all wish to have. Here we are. So we came to the end of this video, and I would really appreciate if you can share with me your thoughts. What of the money mistake I shared with you find the most interesting or helpful for yourself? I would say for me personally, having the overview of money flow is the rule number 1 that I need to follow. From that I can set up my expectation, I can see which money streams I may introduce into my money flow, I can see how much money I can save for emergency fund, I can see how much money I can spend for any certain purchase I want to have. So basically having overview of my money flows is the rule number 1 that I apply every single month in my life. So I would be glad to hear you back in the comment below. Subscribe to my channel if you find it useful for yourself. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.